Good morning, Arthur Rafferty, ASNITV. Now, I would like to bring to the attention of the good public how the corrupt Belfast Trust, aided by their medical director and corrupt members of the legal profession, have treated me, because I was big enough to stand up to them when their corrupt doctors colluded with corrupt solicitors and lawyers, so my claim for compensation would fall through. Now, I am suffering from asbestosis after working a lifetime at the Belfast docks, handling asbestos. Yet those so-called doctors, calling themselves specialists, 2 from the Mater, 2 from the City, 1 from the RVH and 1 from Antrim Area Hospital, could not and would not diagnose me with asbestosis, on the say-so of the medical director of the Belfast Trust. Not only those doctors, but also 27 other doctors who I seen while attending their hospitals over a period of 12 years, and not one of them had the courage to stand up and tell me the truth about my sickness. I had to travel to see a doctor in Liverpool who knew something about asbestos, and he was able to diagnose me after only one examination with asbestosis, bronchiectasis and also pleural plaques. I then came back to Belfast and took my case to court and won my case for compensation despite all the collusion between these corrupt doctors, solicitors and lawyers. Those scum hadn't even the decency to appear in court. They settled it out of court rather than face me. Now I want to take those 6 corrupt doctors and their medical director to court on charges of malpractice and wrongful diagnosis of my sickness, to let the public know what kind of vermin they are. These doctors colluded with members of the legal profession for 12 years to make sure my case would fall through. And I want to know why. What was the reason? They also had the full backings of the medical director of the Belfast Trust, who wouldn't know the meaning of the word truth. When they made the film Billy Liar, they must have had that man in mind. I have lodged all my papers in the court, in the High Court. The attitude of those doctors to me was totally deplorable. I knew then and there that there was a scam going on of some sort, and I was determined to expose them. You have to ask yourself what those corrupt doctors in Belfast were doing and who was pulling their strings. After 1 year, I got word to appear in court for a hearing. I appeared in court 3 times and the Belfast Trust failed to attend. Now, on the 4th time, the Judge Ivan Bell at the previous hearing granted me an assessment of damages award. So I attended to see what damages he would award me. The lawyer from the Belfast Trust attended that hearing after missing 3 hearings previously without any excuse given. The lawyer never spoke once, and the Judge, Ivan Bell, set aside the damages award in favour of the Belfast Trust. It was a total farce. And I later found out that the corrupt Judge Ivan Bell was a former employee of the Belfast Trust for over 20 years. And listen to this, he was a doctor. There was a conflict of interest there. He should never have been put on my case unless that was their plan. I reported Judge Bell to the Lord Chief Justice and also to the Attorney General, and both these 2 offices refused to do anything about the corrupt judge. There and then I knew the whole system was corrupt, and I have applied to have my case heard in England. Now I find that I cannot get legal representation from any of the so-called legal firms in Belfast. Now I have tried 8 of the top firms and have been refused. So it looks as if the old boys club, such as the Lord Chief Justice Office, the Attorney General's Office, the Bar Council and the Law Society have advised them what to do. Those people mentioned above are doing all in their power to stop me taking my case to England. I always thought that Northern Ireland was part of the UK. Or is it that those so-called legal people, along with their corrupt doctors and judges, have something to hide? I have my investigative journalist and myself working on the full case full time. And I can say that when I have completed my investigations to my satisfaction, I will take great pleasure in exposing these corrupt scum. It's all up when the Lord Chief Justice and the Attorney General and a corrupt judge goes out of their way to help and support these corrupt doctors who, with the help of their corrupt solicitors and barristers, are ripping the sick and dying people, members of our community. My case has proved beyond all doubts what I am saying. Let me tell them, after 12 years I know what scam is going on. These doctors, solicitors and lawyers make sure sick and dying people who are looking for compensation that their cases never reach the courts. So the large insurance companies do not have to pay out. Then you ask yourself, what happens to the money the sick and dying don't get? Well, you don't have to be Einstein to know that one, to work that one out. My 2 advice centres are full of sick people with complaints about how doctors and legal people handle their cases, or should I say, mishandle. I am building a rota of names of sick people who have been abused by these corrupt scum, and I will be bringing the list to my court case in England, if it ever happens. So anyone who wishes to add their names to the list can call my mobile 07715 921137. These people have to be named and shamed and also struck off. Now, just to finish, I got in contact with a group called the Pro Bono Unit, made up of lawyers who offer a service to the public who have been wronged by solicitors and lawyers. Now, I had a meeting with them and told them what their brother lawyers have done to me. They says they would raise my case at the next meeting and would get back to me. That was over a year ago. Now, I have phoned their office at least 12 times. You are put through to an answering machine. I have left messages after message, but have got no response at all. I put it down to another way for that corrupt legal system to waste the public time. Now, I would advise the public not to go near them. These people who I have mentioned in my statement are void of conscience and morality. Now, anyone who would like a tape of that story or any other of my stories can call me on my mobile 07715 921137. Leave your name and address and I will send you a tape free. Thank you. Now, anyone who has a story to tell and wishes me to air it can call me on my mobile 07715 921137, or I can send a reporter out to get your story. And remember, I will tell your story as you tell me. Nothing will be cut out. Now watch more of my stories on YouTube. ArthurRafferty.com, YouTube Arthur Rafferty, Arthur Rafferty Docker, YouTube Arthur Rafferty ASNI. Now my email is arthurrafferty1@gmail.com. Thank you for watching ASNI TV. I will see you soon.